So let's now apply the big 5 and little 2 rules to the contract verbs and form the present, active, indicative forms for the first person singular, second person singular, third person singular, first person plural, second person plural, and third person plural forms. So if we apply the big 5, little 2 rules, when an epsilon combines with an omega, well, here actually the big 5, little 2 rules aren't really being applied because they're used for 2 short vowels. But when you have a strong vowel like omega combined with a short vowel, simply the strong vowel bullies out the short vowel and the short vowel drops. So this form is poi-o. Now notice that all the lexical form is poi-e-o, and you see that epsilon there showing that it's a short vowel stem. When you actually use the word in a sentence, it's poi-o, and the short vowel epsilon is dropped when it's combined with the omega. And so the contract verb is one of the few verbs where the lexical form and the first person singular, present active indicative form are not the same. When you actually want to say in a sentence, I am doing, I am making, which is what poi-e-o means, you would actually use poi-o as the form. And this is a pure lexical form that is never really seen in a sentence ever in the New Testament or other forms of literature, but simply represents a hypothetical lexical form that allows you to see the full stem when you look up the Greek word in the dictionary. So poi-e-o means I am doing or making. And if I want to say you are doing or making, you take the stem poi-e, you combine it with the second person singular suffix. So we had o, ace, and then we will go over a, amen, ete, usi, o, ace, a, amen, ete, usi. Those are the primary active suffixes used to form the present active indicative tense. When you take the stem that uses a short contract vowel epsilon, combine it with ace, if you apply the big 5, little 2 rules, a combined with epsilon combined with another epsilon gives the vowel contraction a, this diphthong, but then you still have the iota and the sigma, and then the little 2 rule says that 2 like vowels combine to form 1, and so the final form here will be ace. So to say you are doing, you are making, it would be poi-ace. But notice that the accent has a circumflex, and this is something that you'll see commonly among contract verbs. It won't happen all the time, but most of the time when there's some sort of vowel contractions, when vowels combine, it's signified or tagged in the Greek by the use of a circumflex accent. And so for the third person plural, singular, third person singular, to say he, she is doing, is making, apply the big 5 rule. 2 epsilons make the diphthong a, combine that with this iota, and you know that the little 2 rule says 2 like vowels become 1, and then the final form is a, so this is poi-a, circumflex, he, she, it is doing, making, epsilon plus omicron for the first person plural, we are making, we are doing, well that forms a diphthong oo, so you get to form poi-oo men for you are we are making, we are doing. Epsilon plus epsilon gives a diphthong a, so this is poi-ate, and this is you all are doing or making. And then epsilon plus omicron is oo, but you have a like vowel, and that 2 like vowels combine, and so the final form is usi. And so to say they are making or doing, it's poi-u, si, or sin. So these are the forms. So let's say the present active indicative for the contract verb poieo, which is I am doing, I am making, from the first person singular all the way to the end. Let's say it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Poio, poies, poie, poiumen, poiete, poiusi. Let's now go over the first person singular, second person singular, third person singular, first person plural, second person plural, and third person plural forms for the contract verb. Its lexical form is agapao, which means I am loving. But you won't actually see again this form used in a sentence. This is a pure lexical form. And instead, you'll see the present active indicative forms as follows. Alpha plus omega gives you an omega. So the form would be agapo, I'm loving. For you are loving, alpha plus epsilon is alpha, but it goes long. And once it becomes long, this iota subscripts underneath, and then the sigma comes alongside the alpha. So to say you all are loving, or sorry, you are loving singular, it's agapas. And so be careful. A lot of times we're used to seeing the iota subscript with nouns for the dative case, but now we have an example where it's being used in a verb. And here it's formed because of vowel contraction. To say he, she, it is loving. The alpha plus the epsilon combines to form the alpha. Remember, the alpha goes long and bumps out the epsilon, and the iota, because now we have a long vowel, subscripts, and this is agapa, iota subscript. To say we are loving, first person plural, alpha plus omicron is omega, so this is agapomen. Alpha plus epsilon for the second person plural is alpha, so this is agapate, you all are loving, and alpha plus omicron is omega. And as soon as you get that omega, then all the other vowels drop because this is such a strong long vowel. And so they are loving is agapo, si, or sin. So these are the present active indicative forms for agapao. Let's say them together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Agapo, agapas, agapa, agapomen, agapate, agaposen. And for our third paradigmatic word, plerao, which means I am fulfilling, I am completing. And again, this is the lexical form, which you never see used in a real sentence. Instead, you see these forms being used for the present active indicative forms for the first person singular, second person singular, third person singular, first person plural, second person plural, and third person plural forms. So we apply the big 5 little 2 rules. Have a long vowel, add it to a short vowel, and the long vowel wins every time, and you have omega. So this is plero. So again, you'll never see plerao in a sentence. Instead, to say I am completing, I am fulfilling, the form is plero. I'm going to skip what's shaded because that's the special little 2 rule that will apply in just a bit. But let's finish out the paradigms. To say we are fulfilling, omicron plus omicron is u. That's the vowel contraction. So it's plereumen. Omicron plus epsilon is u. So this is plerute. And that's you all are fulfilling. And then omicron plus omicron is u again. And they are fulfilling, they are completing is pleru, si, or sin. And omicron a stem vowel and you add to it the A diphthong here, non-intuitively it becomes oi. And that's just something that, a rule that you memorize. So to say you singular are completing, are fulfilling, it's ploi rois. And to say he, she, it is completing, it's pleroi. And so let's go over the present active indicative of plerao. Let's say it together. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Plero, plerois, pleroi, plerumen, plerute, plerusen. And that completes the present active indicative form.